Hi everyone, this is Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. I finally have another day done in my week in the life project. Slow and steady, that's how I'm working on this project, but I am still determined to wrap it up. So for each of the large photos that start off the day, I wanted to add some sort of word phrase to it. And I also made sure that where I placed those was going to not interfere with the vellum insert. So I put an around here chipboard and then noticing kind of above my son's luggage. And side note, my son's luggage is actually a quote unquote backpack that I used when I was in 8th grade. And somehow it survived all these years, which is so awesome. And once you flip the page, I have a 6x8 spot, so that way I can talk about my son's adventure, his big field trip. They went to Oregon to go to some Shakespeare festivals, and he was a little nervous leaving, which is fine and understandable because of the world being upside down. They had not gone on field trips in a while. So this was kind of his last big one, but he totally reassured me with a selfie with his friend. And so I had to include that as a 4x6 and then just kind of make a little, almost like a little scrapbook page behind the main photo. And I pulled out a transparency piece that said go, stapled it, and I'm going to add some double-sided tape. And I also grabbed a backpack wood veneer that worked out perfect. And now that I have kind of taken a while to get Wednesday done, I now have a new story kit, the Explore story kit. So I will be able to use that stamp set, which is going to work out perfect. I also added the clear sticker journaling about my son's trip and where he was going and his friend that he was paired up with, which was awesome. And the mom got to come along too. So it all worked out to be a great situation. I am deciding on which phrases I want to use from the Explorer kit. I know that I want a big, large phrase to kind of be as a title. So I decide on Explore. And then above that, I will have the adventure begins, which is perfect, right? And then below that, I'll have say yes to new adventures. So I love those little tiny little phrases that I can add that give me the final little touch for this page. I have also already put in the 4x6 Wednesday card with the INGs. I just filled that in like off camera because I need my phone to look at the pictures and kind of jog my memory. I used the notes that I took throughout the day to kind of fill that in. I didn't get anything for laughing, but that's okay. Sometimes that happens. I also have a 4x6 card that I'm going to do on the back of the Wednesday card. So that's going to have some more details of the day. Right now, I'm adding in some of the craft words. So I have a selfie of the kids and I walking to school. So I put today. And that one I kind of put towards the bottom since it was cut off and it almost looked like not the full word for today. But it worked out. I also wanted to grab a stamp phrase from Everyday Explorers that says, "So proud of you." It has something else in the top and the bottom, but I went ahead and just trimmed what I didn't need, and then I'm able to just adhere "So proud of you" over my son's photo. So that worked out great. I do want to figure out a spot for the 26. I have added a 24 and 25, and I have them for the whole project, so I just have to figure out where I'm going to put this 26, and it's going to be kind of tricky, and I'm actually not going to figure it out until I'm showing you guys the walkthrough at the very end of this project. So it was just hard to find a spot for this 26, but I finally did find one, and it's going to work out great. So I wanted a few more phrases for at least one of these 3x4 photos. And so I pulled out my tray to see what kind of photo or words I had. And I wound up finding one that says menu. And I'm going to go ahead and use that one, because my menu at this time was eating a lot of bread and peanut butter toast because of stomach issues. And I'll probably talk about that later on when I go to play with some sticker journaling. And also just talking about the day in general, because this day was probably the most frustrating as a whole. You know, you always have highs and lows, right? This day was definitely frustrating. There was a lot of technology issues throughout the day and dealing with stuff going on with my phone. It was just something weird where my phone was connected to my son's phone. Like it was almost like a replica of it. So I spent a lot of time on the phone, and I'm actually going to make a technology page later on in this process video. For right now, I'm making the 4x6 documenting card, and I just discussed different things about the morning. And I also wanted to use the kind of map tag from the Explorer stamp set as a header, and I really love how that turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and use this stamp technique throughout my entire project because I like it, and also it adds that consistency, right? So I just cut up the journaling, added it down, and I think I took some of the journaling out. I'm not sure, but I wanted to have room for that large word that said documenting, and it turned out fantastic. Love how the card turned out. I cannot resist adding words or more words to empty space. So I went ahead and I just added every day to the top of the photo of me, and I placed it over where the light was shining in the photo. So it was actually a good spot to put the everyday word phrase. Now, on the back of this, I had not printed any photo. I did not have any photo. I didn't have anything in mind for the back of that photo until I put a phrase in there that said current delights. And so I figured, you know what, I could put the delights of the day. And it actually turned out to be a really good thing, since this day was pretty frustrating as a whole. So it was nice to think about the delights. And also, I just want to say that as I was making the different journaling components, like my current delights and also my top 3 and even my journaling, I do repeat some aspects, but I'm okay with that. Like I'm just okay with repeating different story aspects in a different way. I'm okay with that. Right now, I am trying to figure out what word phrase stickers I want to add, because I had remembered that I used a few for Monday and Tuesday, so I wanted to pick out a few that will work for Wednesday. And I decided on this green one that is almost empty, and also a bright pink one. So on top of the selfie photo, I think I put today, or early morning. Yeah, I put early morning. I think the phrase actually said crisp early morning, but I decided to just use the early morning. And then on top of the Explore 6x8 page, I put today. And then on the next page, I found a phrase that I was able to make that says, "Oh no," and I put that on a photo of me fighting with my Cameo mat because it was not cutting. That was another frustrating part of this day. I could not get my cutting mat to work. I bought this spray so I could do it myself, but it's like if you spray too much, it won't work. And that just kept happening, and I would have to re-clean the mat and start over. And so I did it 3 times, and then after that I was just like, nope, I'm just going to use my old and gross mat, tape everything down, and move on, because I can't keep playing with this. But so that was another frustrating part. So current delights, I started with yummy, and I'm going to put yummy breakfast with a side of reading, because that is always such a wonderful way to start my day, and I'm always thankful when I'm able to do that. I'm using this really old typewriter font from Ali Edwards to stamp, and that way it makes more of like a bold impact on the overall page. The next thing I'm stamping is flowers. We had some really pretty orange flowers blooming in the backyard. I also put a walk, because when I was done talking to several different people about the phone situation, I was very thankful to be able to go on a walk, and I had a specific spot in our neighborhood that I wanted to go to and get some photos of flowers. So it was nice to get out, listen to my audiobook, and not have to deal with technology issues. I also stamped, my husband and daughter had some fun together going to the card store, and my husband got to pick up our daughter from school. So that was really fun for both of them. And then the last little thing is a call. I got a call from my son about how the trip was going at the end of the day. And you can see that I did stamp some more of the map tag at the bottom. Now the next page is the 4x4 page with the 2x2s. I had this really cool little phrase that said say yes. So I used that on the selfie of myself as I was going on the walk. And below that I put fresh because it felt so good to get outside and get my walk. So on the flower photo, I wanted to put yeah and then grow because the flowers are growing so awesome. But as it turns out, the flowers died really quick, like maybe in May, early May. But now we are expert bell pepper and watermelon growers. I don't know what we're doing, but we're doing something, and they just keep on growing. And if you see my cord, I apologize. I was listening to an audiobook as I was making this, and my cord sometimes got in the video, but it's all right. So now I'm going to do the top 3. And again, I'm kind of repeating some of the same topics, but I'm okay. Like I said, I'm okay with that. So top 3, the first one is I have a stamp from Everyday Explorers that says beautiful day, and I'm going to write about my walk. But first I have to stamp everything. The large 3 is from Ali Edwards, so I just stamped that, and then I dug through my Everyday Explorers stash and kind of figured out what stamps I could use that would represent the top 3 things of the day. I did the outdoor sun stamp, and then I found some family ones that had dad and daughter, so I went ahead and stamped those. And I also used a speech bubble. And then the third one was like talking to my son at night when he called. So I put love this so much along with a phone icon. And it's just such a visually striking way to see the top 3 of the day. And once I had them all stamped, I went ahead and just jotted down a few notes about each of the 3 things, and that will wrap up that 4x4 and 2x2 pocket, which I love it. I love all the different sizes, and I'm loving putting together these pages, and I am going to finish this album, friends. Just keep telling myself that, right? So that's how it looks right there. And then now I'm going to move on to the back of the page, which has the 4x4 of my husband and daughter sitting around looking at their cards, and also my daughter doing some karate moves. Now there was some empty space at the bottom left of the karate photo, and I wanted to see if I could put the journaling about that at the bottom, like on the photo. So I'm going to go ahead and try to see if I can do that. And I also have a 2x2 card for some journaling, and I'm also going to add a large word phrase to the photo of my husband and daughter, since there's that negative space at the bottom. I just had to figure out which for the win journaling went with that card, and it's the one about, you know, their trip to the card store and just opening cards together. And I love how I found that phrase for the win, and I put it there intentionally knowing that it would work well with this story of them. And then, like I said, I'm going to document the karate story. My daughter was showing me all her karate moves on the trampoline, and I really enjoyed that. And I'm so glad that I could put the journaling on the actual photo. So that way it gives it more context, and I didn't have to like find like another spot to put it because I wasn't sure if I was going to have another spot. And I also made a little sentence that says, "You are cool," and I put that above the journaling. And on the photo of my husband and daughter, I did "aw yeah" and you and I. So it turned out to be a really colorful, fun page that I have. Now over on this 2x2, I wound up with like less photos than I thought, or less phrases than I thought. I felt like something went wrong with the design. One of my journaling pieces, I'm going to have to take it apart and make it into a 2x2 instead of a 5x7 because it was going to be included inside of the booklet. So I either I just did something wrong when I was planning this page, but I'm going to make it work. So up at the top, I have like a floating piece that says pieces of my story on the front and highs and lows on the back. And I should have stapled it, but I don't think that I did. I also have a large phrase on the back that says PM, and I'm going to make a little stamp card on the front and the back as well. And so you can see it's kind of floating right there. I'm going to finally stamp it. But I have home life on the top. In the middle, it says here, and then below that, it says now with that outline word. I love those outline words. They came in like an April Stories by the Month kit. I loved it. So now I'm kind of figuring out where I'm going to, or how I'm going to fill this in. So that's when I decide, okay, I'm going to have to take this story about like my stomach issues and go ahead and cut it apart and add it to this 2x2, because the story will work perfect next to my meal replacement shake. It's just going to be very tedious to take it all apart, right? So I wanted to first start by cutting the little strips, like cutting each sentence, and then I will have to obviously measure it, cut it, and then adhere it down. And it's going to turn out all wobbly and crooked and whatever. We're just going to leave it. And you know, you guys, I don't know why I didn't think of it, but I have so much scrap pieces of paper for clear sticker journaling. I should have just reprinted this. I don't know. It just did not dawn on me to reprint this. I don't know. Sometimes you get in the flow of things and you just don't think about simple things. I don't know. I don't know what happened, you guys. But either way, I'm going to get it all down and it'll explain how I just had really bad stomach issues in April and May, a lot of bloating and feeling like I was Thanksgiving full very quickly. And so it made eating like dinner was almost impossible. By the end of the day with dinner, I just I couldn't eat. So I would just do a meal replacement shake. So yeah, it was very confusing and I still don't really have any answers as to what was going on with me. But so yeah, that was not fun. So not only did I deal with technology issues on this day, but I was dealing with my stomach issues. So never a dull moment, right? I'm going to make another 2x2 card so that way I have it for the back. I think I needed it for the back of the back of the page for an evening card. So that's why I grabbed the slow down stamp and then also around here. So it's going to go on the back next to my pillow. And that will wrap up my little 2x2 page. And I didn't add any word phrase stickers on the back. And then I have a really beautiful photo of the flowers on my walk. I love them. You know, I love flowers when I look forward to documenting different flowers in different seasons. I love it. Now I just have to figure out a way to document winter better. And yeah, that would be great. So for this photo, I have Wednesday and taking care of me. And I love those phrases. And I love how it's just such a simple phrase, but it means a lot. And the photo is simple, but it comes together great. So on the back of that is, of course, the screenshots from the day. My friend Erica and I were talking about chips and how much we love chips. I also have a screenshot of tech support and talking to my mother-in-law, and then the quotes from the day. I'm going to start working on my little booklet, and I will take apart this 5x7 sticker sheet because like I discovered in Monday, I don't want to add a full sheet of clear sticker paper. It's just too nerve-wracking and just too much. So I'm going to do it in chunks, and I actually got it mostly straight, so yay for me. And then at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and stamp some more of the map tags in just a second. And I will, of course, add some stamping to the left-hand side, but I think my phone died, so you guys are not going to see a lot of it, but I'm going to point it out in a second. So I add the phrase tonight, and then I'm going to add our days look like this up at the top. So following the similar formula that I've done with the other pages. by adding a stamped phrase up at the top and also the Z's. So yeah, this is where I added the Z's, and I also added the stamping down at the bottom, and that's when my phone died, so I'm sorry about that. I also picked out a few phrases that I wanted to stamp on the time page. I stamped "This really bums me out," and then I turned it and I found some phrases to stamp for the gratitude and feelings page, and I just went ahead and grabbed some pink ink so that way I could stamp them in that color. And so I did thankful for this, and then over on feelings I put "Here's how I'm feeling" with kind of a sad face, and then "This was my day." And I'll cut apart this sticker page and add it all down, and again add the map stamping. So just cutting it into those small chunks definitely makes it so much easier for me to get it onto the page. And I can read the text that, once it's over the dot grid, I can read it. It's just my printer does make it a little smudged looking. So that's definitely something I've been working on with my printer. But I still haven't figured it out exactly, but it still looks fantastic, and I can't get enough of this little book, and I think I will be making them forevermore. So I'll add that stamping, and then at the end of the video, I decide that I want to use up some more of that nearly empty green sticker sheet, so I'm going to add some more word phrase stickers to the bottom, but you'll see that at the end. So on this page, what I want to remember. In other days past, I think I've done photos. I think I've done photos for Monday and Tuesday, but I didn't have a photo for this spot, so I decided to grab some stickers from Everyday Explorers and spell out technology to go across all the way across, and then I could do love and loath and just talk about the ways that we used technology, not just today, but this entire week, and what things about technology that we enjoyed this week, and also what we did not, especially on this particular day. So once I have that all adhered down, I can grab that typewriter stamp set again and spell out love and loath. I thought about just doing a clear sticker quote like from Allie Edwards' kit or something, but I could not find anything that I really liked, so I decided to just go with this idea. And I think it's going to turn out really great and really cool. So once I have the love and the loath, and I'm just kind of placing love at the top and then loath down kind of in the bottom right hand corner. And then I decide, you know what, Everyday Explorers has this really cool icon stamp set, so I'm going to use that. So I place a bunch of icons above and below the technology. I have like headphones, a shopping bag, exclamation mark, a YouTube play screen, and then a phone and a camera and a thumbs up, and I also make a thumbs down. And so just any icons that I can think of, I'm using. And at first I thought I was just gonna space them apart, but I decided, I'm just gonna fill it all in. So now I have a full top and bottom row of different icons. And then I smeared the page with my wet hand, and I could not get it clean, but that's okay. So today I said audiobooks on my walk, and just rediscovering audiobooks and really enjoying them. I also love connecting with my friends on Instagram and through audio messages, so that's really awesome. I love sharing my projects and capturing life with photos, and also my son just being able to communicate with us during this trip with photos and videos. And then loath, dealing with iPhone issues and not knowing how to solve it, and not understanding like a tech issue, and getting a person on the phone that does not understand the issue either was really frustrating. And how tech can be such a time suck. And then the last one that I wrote was raising kids in this tech-filled world isn't easy. A balance needs to be found, but that's also very hard as well. So those are my little thoughts, and that will wrap up my booklet. I did not add anything to the ING side of this, which is fine. That's what I've been doing for this whole project. And now I am going to flip to the beginning, and that way I can show you kind of a walkthrough. Some of the things are still outside of the page protectors just because I'm going to take some photos, but that's okay. So I'll flip back to the beginning and show you how everything is going to look. So this is where I finally figure out the 26 can go at the bottom. It fits, it works. I staple it and call it done. So the 26 found a spot. Yay! All right, going back to the beginning, and you see I have the opening, my son's photo, the little 6x8 page with his friend, the ING card, another documenting card of my day and my morning, the delights, the top 3 of the day, and then the afternoon, the 2x2 page protector, and then my little booklet. And this is where I decide, hey, let's use up some more of those green words, since there's so many that are just little phrases that I could use up. So I wind up putting down now, good, extra, and be. And that way I'm getting closer to finishing this sheet. And then on the back, I just did okay and cozy. And I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing Wednesday come together. I'd love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you are new to my channel. Have a wonderful day. Bye.